Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm still your mathematics teacher, Mr. NBC. From today, we shall be looking at the topic simple equations. This topic cuts across so many categories of learning, talking of the primary school section, the junior secondary, and even the senior secondary. So just like the name implies, simple equations, we are going to make it very simple for you to understand. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button so that you'll be able to get the subsequent videos free as they come online. All right, so let's have a look at some of these questions. Solve the following. Number 1, 5x is equal to 35. 3y minus 4 equal to 20. 2m plus 1 equal to 31. X minus 8 equal to 4x plus 5. Then number 5, 2 bracket 2x minus 1 bracket close equal to 34. So let's get the solutions of all these questions. So let's begin with example 1. In example 1, we have 5x equal to 35. Recall in our previous video, we talked about coefficients of algebraic terms, whereby if you have something like 2x, if I ask what is the coefficients of x here, one would say 2. If you have 3y, one asks you what's the coefficients of y here, what will be your response? The answer is what? 3. If I have it as minus 7m and you are asked the coefficients of m, the answer is minus 7. So it's going to be very, very instrumental to what we'll be doing today. All right, so let's take a look at the first example. All right, so what we do here, when you have an expression at the left and another one at the right, and there is an equal sign between them, what we are to do is to divide both sides by the coefficient of x here. The coefficient of x here is what? 5. So that is to say, we are going to use 5 to divide the left hand side and the right hand side. So what we are going to do is to say divide both sides by the coefficient of x, of which the coefficient of x is what? 5. So we're going to be using 5 to divide both sides. So that will now be 5x equal to 35. So we're using the coefficients of this x to divide both sides. That will now be all over 5, all over 5. So here 5 will cancel out 5. We are left with x is equal to 35 divided by 5 will give us what? 7. So 7 becomes the answer to this particular question. If you want to check whether your answer is actually correct, so what we have to do is this: getting this equation. Remember, we've now got our x to be what? 7. So we plug in the 7 here in place of x, and to know whether it's going to give us 35. So that will be 5 multiplied by 7, which represents the x. That will give us what? 35. That shows that our answer is correct. That's why we call it equation, because the left hand side and the right hand side must be equal. When you get your answer and you substitute the answer into the variable there, that will give you actually the answer that you are looking for. I hope this is quite clear. Let's move to number 2. In number 2, we have 3y minus 4 equal to 20. So what we're going to do in this case is that we are going to collect the like terms. If you recall, the first question says 5x equal to 35. That is to say, the question must be looking like this before we can actually divide both sides by the coefficient. But in this case now, we can't do that. The reason is because we're not having a particular term at the left and one other term at the right. We have up to 3 terms here. So we have to make it look like this one before we can actually divide both sides by the coefficients of the alphabet. But in this case, that is y. So the first thing we are going to do here is to collect the like terms, to let those ones that look alike to move to the same side. When you look at it here, it's only 3 that is having y. This one has nothing, this one has nothing. So therefore, what we are going to do is to collect like term, meaning that this one will have to move over to the 20. That's the minus 4. We have to move over to the other side. Okay, so that we'll not be having the ones with alphabet at one side and the constant value at one side. So that's exactly what we're going to do, collection of like terms. And one most important thing we have to note is that as we have minus here, when it crosses the other side of the equality sign, when the sign crosses the equal sign, it will change. Like in this case now, we have minus 4. When it crosses the other side, it becomes plus 4. If what we have here is plus, when you move to the other side, become what? Minus. Okay, I hope that's quite clear. Only when it's crossing the equal sign. All right, so here we have 3y equal to 20 is already here. Then minus 4 moving over to the other side become what? Plus 4. I hope this is clear. So from there we can go further by saying 3y is equal to 20 plus 4 will give us 24. So what do we do next? We divide both sides by the coefficients of y. What is the coefficients of y? 3. So we say 3y over 3. So we use 3 to divide this side and also use 3 to equally divide this side. So 3, we cancel out 3. We are left with y is equal to 24 divided by 3. The answer will be 8. So 8 is the answer to this very question. I hope the steps are very clear. Remember, you have minus here. So number 3, we explain it better because number 3, we have plus. We'll see what will happen when it goes to the other side of the equality sign. All right, so I hope this is quite clear. You can give number 3 a try. All right, so let's move to the next question. Number 3, here we have another approach. So that would be 2m is equal to, remember, this plus 1 will have to move over to the other side because both this and that are constant values because they do not have any alphabet attached to it. So here we have 31. Then plus 1 crossing the equal sign becomes what? Minus 1. So we now have it as 2m is equal to 31 minus 1 will give us 30. So what do we do next? Divide both sides by the coefficients of m, of which the coefficients of m here is what? 2. So we use it to divide both sides. So that gives us 2m over 2. We are using the coefficient to divide the both sides. 30 over 2. 2 will cancel out 2. M will now be equal to 30 divided by 2 will give us 15 as the answer. I hope this is quite clear. You can pause the video and give number 4 a try. So let's move to number 4 quickly. All right, so looking at number 4, you can see that we have two things that are of the same likeness. Here we have x, here we have 4x. Here we have a constant value minus 8. Here we have another constant value plus 5. So what we're going to do is to collect like terms. Let those ones with the same likeness come to one side of the equality sign. So we have x here. That is to say 4x will have to travel back to this side. And as 4x is coming here to meet this other x, then minus 8 will also be going to the other side to meet 5. So that we now collect the like terms in such a way that things which look alike will be at one side of the equality sign. So for that reason, 4x we're moving over to this side, then minus 8 we equally be moving over to the other side, so that we'll be able to have things of the same likeness being at one side of the equality sign. So here we have x here. 4x is plus 4x here. Remember, when you have a number without any sign before it, that means it is a positive number. In other words, there is a plus there, but it is invisible. So here we have 4x. So plus 4x coming over to this side becomes what? Minus 4x equal to, we already have 5 here plus 5, of which 5 and plus 5 are the same. So minus 8 coming over to the other side, that becomes what? Plus 8. Remember, when the number with its sign crosses the equal sign, the sign must change. Here we have it, 1x minus 4x. What will it give us? For example, you have 4 minus 1. what will be the solution? 4 minus 1, of course, the answer is what? 3. But if you have it as 1 minus 4, what will be the answer? You can see this one is a positive difference. Difference in mathematics means minus. Okay, so when you have big number minus small number, it's going to give you a positive answer. But when you have small number minus big number, it's going to give you a negative of the answer. So in this case now, 1 minus 4 will give us minus 3. I hope this is quite clear, because it will help us in the question that we are solving. All right, so let's get back to that. 1x minus 4x will give us minus 3x equal to 5 plus 8. What will it give us? Of course, that will give us 13. 13. So what do we do next? It now looks like our popular question, that's a 5x equal to 35. So what we do is to divide both sides by the coefficient. But this time around, what is the coefficient of x here? The coefficient of x this time around is minus 3. So we're going to divide both sides by minus 3, because the coefficient of x here is what? Minus 3. So we divide both sides by minus 3. 13 minus 3. So minus 3, we cancel out minus 3. We are left with x is equal to minus 13 over 3. That becomes the answer to the question. Or you change it to mixed fraction, which is minus 4 whole number. Yes, 1 over 3. Because when you say 4 times 3, that's 12. 12 plus 1, 13 over 3. So this is the answer to the question. I hope this is quite clear. Good. Let's move to the next one. This time around, the first step to take is to open the bracket. We have to open the bracket first. All right, so what we have outside of the bracket is 2. So what you have attached to the bracket is exactly what will help you to open the bracket. That is to say, to open this bracket, we have to say 2 times 2x, after which we say 2 times minus 1. Then that will help us to open the bracket. Then if you are having challenge with opening of bracket, you can watch our algebra 2. We already have videos on algebra 1, algebra 2, and algebra 3 that will address some other simpler, challenges somebody may be having with regards to algebra. All right, so let's open the bracket. 2 times 2x will give us 4x. 2 times minus 1 will give us minus 2, equal to 34. So we collect like terms. That is to say, this one will have to move over to the other side, because both of them are like terms. They do not have any alphabet. So minus 2 will cross this other side. We have it as 4x is equal to 34. Minus 2 crossing over to the other side, what does it become? Plus 2. Because just like what we said earlier on, that when a negative crosses the equal sign, it changes to what? Positive. All right, so here we have 4x is equal to 34 plus 2 will give us 36. So we divide both sides by the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x here is what? 4. So we use 4 to divide both sides. 36 by 4. 4 cancel 4. X is equal to 36 divided by 4. Of course, that will give us 9 as our answer. Wonderful. We'll draw the curtain here for today. I hope the lesson is quite interesting. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button for you to be able to get other free videos that will be popping up. Very interesting lessons. And when you follow my channel, you will get to understand mathematics, because the language of mathematics is algebra and fraction, of which we'll be doing video on fraction next time to give you a better understanding of this before we now proceed to quadratic equation and simultaneous equation. These are simple equations that are very necessary and to help you to be able to understand those other ones. I believe you had a very good time with me. Do have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.